really, really easy. What you're going to need is, first of all, you're going to need my favorite completely plant-based cheese substitute, Dea. This stuff is absolutely amazing. It's a tapioca starch-based cheese substitute that absolutely melts and stretches and has all of the wonderful things that we love about cheese without the cheese. I'm using a blend of the mozzarella style as well as the cheddar style. You can use that. There's also a pepper jack style that you can use. I chose not to use that because I'm going to be adding some fire roasted green pepper and pimento and other things that are going to make up for that. And it just keeps my stock on hand more neutral for things like fondue, which I'll be bringing you in a future video. You're also going to need some cashew cream, which I have some fresh cashew cream here that I've made recently. If you don't have fresh cashew cream on hand, you can absolutely use Silk original soy creamer with no sugar added. I feel confident using Silk brand now that they are part of the non-GMO verified product, so you know that you're not getting any genetically modified soy in this product. But for this demonstration, I'm going to be using my own homemade cashew cream. For the seasoning, you're going to need about a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons of fire roasted green chili, as well as some pimento. And then a seasoning blend that I like to use for this, which is basically, I don't measure any of this stuff out. It's iodized sea salt, cumin, chili pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and I just kind of do an equal blend of all of those. For toppings, I have some diced green onion, and I also have some sliced black olives, just regular canned black olives. I also like to top mine with some pickled nacho style jalapeno slices. Not too spicy, but it adds a nice flavor. You're also going to need some Earth Balance or other vegan butter substitute that's non-hydrogenated. And you are going to need some flour. I'm using the Bob's Red Mill whole wheat, organically grown, stone ground whole wheat flour here. And then I also have some fresh made guacamole for topping. And basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a saucepan. I'm going to make a single size serving here, so I'm using a small saucepan. And you're going to want to start with a roux. And basically what a roux does, or what it is it's flour and a fat source. And I'm going to be using the Earth Balance as the fat source. And you kind of want to use a 50-50 blend of each of those ingredients. And what that does is it allows, when you combine something that contains fat and something that contains liquid, it allows those two ingredients to blend without separating. And if you don't use a roux, what can happen is the oil will separate to the top, and you don't want that. You want everything to be nice and creamy and well blended. So no measurement here. Basically just take like a forkful, put it into your saucepan, and you'll want to bring that up. I'm going to set it fairly high because I kind of wanted to get it going. And you're going to want to combine that with a fairly equal amount of flour. And you'll want to heat that up just enough to where it starts to brown and bubble together. I always keep my flour in the freezer for some odd reason. So we want to go ahead and let that start to combine. I've let my cashew cream come to room temperature. I'm going to go ahead and put the silk creamer away since I'm not using that. That's for my coffee in the morning. I also have already at hand, I have a bowl of my blended Daiya cheese. And this is about a 50-50 blend of the cheddar style and the mozzarella style. Really, really simple. Once this all starts to come together, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So, whenever you use non-stick cookware, you also always want to make sure that you use silicone-coated whisks or utensils, because you don't want to scratch and break off any flakes of the non-stick coating. It's in your pan. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more of the earth balance. I want it to be a little bit more creamy than it is here. And what you're going to want to do is take your cream and add just enough and start whisking. Because you want to get that roux fully incorporated into your cream before you add your Daiya cheese. And while I'm doing this, I'll also mention that the green onion that I'm using as the topping, I've divided into two parts. The first part is the white onion bulb base, and then I let the green tips kind of set to the side, because what we're going to do, turn that down and add a little bit more cream. It's thickening up pretty quick here. The green onion, the tough part, the white part, the base of the bulb, we're going to go ahead and add in straight away so that the onion flavor can cook into the base. Now, once again, there's no measurements here per se, because it's all by feel. So here you can see that we have a nice, rich cream base that's starting to thicken really quickly. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add about half of our seasoning, and the reason why we're only adding about half is because it really needs to be seasoned to taste at this point. Oh yeah. It smells just right. I've also started to preheat my oven to 375 to 400 degrees, just depending on how large of a dish of chips that you want to serve up. I'm doing about this much, basically a fat kid single size serving here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in now just so the chips kind of warm. And I'm going to start taking my Daya cheese and adding this to the mix, just one pinch at a time. Still needs a little bit more cream. You want to keep this constantly moving. You don't want to let it sit or it'll scorch. Why do we say that? Scorch. And once you scorch a sauce, you can never get rid of that burnt smell and taste, ever. So it's really important to keep things moving. Add a little bit more cheese, another pinch here. And you can see it's really starting to thicken up here. Let me see if I can show you. Look at that. It's ridiculous. I also, at the same time, I have some refried beans that I've kept in the microwave just to keep warm, because I like to have refried beans. The one thing with refried beans is you want to make sure if you buy them in a can, you don't make them at home, that you buy vegetarian refried beans or so-called fat-free refried beans. The reason being is because if you buy traditional style refried beans, if you're a strict vegetarian, a lot of times they use lard in traditional refried beans, so you really kind of want to keep an eye out for that. The sauce is coming along beautifully. You can see this takes no time at all. Let me go ahead and give this a taste here. So to build my nachos, you can see the sauce has thoroughly thickened up into a rich, creamy, yummy sauce. What I want to do now is I want to go ahead and add those pimentos and the fire roasted green chilies and get those nice and incorporated in there. The reason why you didn't want to add them during the cooking process is because it would actually completely make them collapse and they would become mushy. This way they impart their flavor but without turning to mush, because you want to have at least some bite to them. Oh yeah, good stuff. So here we have our basic heated chips. We want to go ahead and take this delicious sauce and pour a plenteous amount, I think I just invented a new word, plenteous amount on there. We also want to add some of our refried beans, if you like refried beans. If not, you can do black beans, you can do just whole pinto beans. I love refried beans, so I'm going to go ahead and add plenty of those. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and add black olives over the top. Love black olives. About half of the remaining green onion. A little bit more of the cheese, because that's the best part. And I'm going to take this and put it back in the oven for just a moment, just to keep it warm. And here they are out of the oven. I'm going to go ahead and add some pickled jalapenos. Not too spicy. Made specifically for nachos. And I am also going to add a nice heaping tablespoon of some fresh guacamole. Oh yeah. A little bit more green onion, just raw green onion on the top. If I had some chopped tomatoes, I would also add that. You can add chopped raw, like white, red, yellow onion, whatever it is that you like. And here we have it. The cheesiest vegan nachos you will ever have in your life. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and try these and see how they came out, even though I already know how they came out. Oh my God. Guaranteed to fool any omnivore. Your children will never suspect that they're eating vegan nachos. Oh. Oh. These are absolutely freaking amazing. And if you have been missing dairy, regardless of whether you've decided to go vegan or vegetarian, or whether you have issues with dairy and you've been missing dairy, because I know everybody misses dairy if they go vegetarian or vegan, this hits the spot. And it's gluten-free. This entire recipe, by the way, is gluten-free. Just to let you know, with the caveat that you can make the sauce without the roux. It may not quite, you may end up experiencing a break, but if you use a very, very low temperature while heating up the sauce, heating up the cream base, and adding the cheese, you can possibly get away with not using a roux, and then it's 100% gluten-free. But I need to go because I have these frickin' nachos that need to go in my mouth along with this wine. So hit subscribe, share this recipe, enjoy a glass of wine with these wonderful nachos or a cold Mexican beer. Whatever your pleasure is, grab life by the balls, live well. Hail Satan.